point, you just kind of did one of those groans, like, oh, you still got 48 miles to go. And then, quite frankly, wham!
Okay.
I hit, the incident happened.
Jason Ravensborg is a lawyer and politician who served as South Dakota's 31st Attorney General from January 5, 2019 to February 23, 2023. He's a Republican and won the job in the 2018 general election. In September 2020, he was in a crash that killed a pedestrian, Josef Bover. Ravensborg first said he thought he'd hit a deer, but it later became clear he'd hit a person. His interrogation drew major attention. Let's begin. It started like any standard interview. The detective introduced himself and said the goal was to piece together what happened and find the truth. He told Ravensborg there were no charges yet and that he was free to leave. They began with simple background questions to set the stage.
What's your date of birth?
4/12/76.
Okay. And what's your address?
1109 Bridgeview, all one word, in Pier, 57501.
57501?
57501, yes.
Okay. And what's the best phone number to reach you at?
Okay, I can give you multiple ones.
Okay, yeah, I'll take them all.
So let's go with 605-773-3215.
And what is that?
That's the office.
Office, okay. All right. So which one is the best one to get in touch with you at?
Well, I guess let's go with work cell.
Work cell? All right. Okay. Like I said, we just want to get kind of the step-by-step account of what happened that night, and So you're the
I'm the Attorney General of the state. Yes.
Okay.
South Dakota.
How long have you been doing this?
I got elected in 18, and I got sworn in on January 5th of 2019.
January what did you say?
January 5th
5th
of 2019.
Okay. All right. And your office is here in Pier?
The main office is here in Pier. We have satellite offices, but the main office is here.
Okay. All right. So,
which is up at the Mickelson Center.
Okay.
Where DCI is on second floor and we're on first floor.
Okay. Yeah, he pointed out that building to me yesterday. I had never seen it before.
Public safety building, is that what they call it?
The Mickelson, we call it the Mickelson building. We had a governor that got killed in a plane crash, and we named it after him.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
The detective asked Ravensborg for a quick timeline, step by step, of what happened so they could understand how things led up to this point.
So you left around 9. Did you make any stops?
I did not make any stops, no.
Okay. All right.
Until the incident.
Right. Okay. So you're driving, and kind of tell me about what happened then.
I left the event, and I'm heading west on that initial road. I called my father.
Okay.
His name is Richard Ravnsborg. Obviously, same last spelling. Right. I mean, I can spell it again to make it easy. But, my mother passed away 3 years ago unexpectedly, so I try to call my father every night. And so I called him.
Uh-huh.
My phone shows that I called him for 23 minutes, apparently.
Okay.
That's not, just kind of the time. But then on the curve, when you go south towards Miller again, get off that road and you go south, there's a big dead spot out there somewhere, and the call dropped.
Okay.
And so then I called my father back.
Okay.
And it was a very short 2-minute, hey, I didn't hang up on you kind of call. I just calling you back that I didn't, it dropped or something, and I didn't hang up on you.
Right.
And then I turned the corner at Miller, and I drove on 14 again now, and went until I got to Highmore. I approached Highmore, and slowed down through the town, and I thought about getting some gas or not. I looked to the left and right, and they just both looked closed, so I didn't do that. And I went through and I saw a sign that said 65 miles an hour, so I believe I started to accelerate. And then I saw a sign that said 48 miles to pier.
From the start, Ravensborg looked nervous. His voice shook as he explained that his phone showed a 23-minute call with his dad, but he insisted it was only a quick chat. The detective spotted the mismatch and made a note to dig into it more as the interview went on.
And, you just kind of did one of those groans, like, oh, you still got 48 miles to go. And then, quite frankly, wham!
Okay.
I hit, the incident happened. I never saw anything until the impact. I immediately jump out of the car and call 911 within seconds. I believe my phone will show, enough records show 1024 is when I called.
Called 911?
Right, if I can demonstrate a little bit. I got out of the car and I jumped out and I'm looking back towards Highmore because I think I'm at Highmore, but now I'm shook up. And I call and I said, I am the Attorney General. I am approximately a mile west of Highmore, I believe. I've hit something in the road. I need some assistance. Who is this? Is the response I get. And I think, that's not 100%, but I think I said my name then, Jason Ravensborg. I'm not sure. I remember thinking at the time which was easier. It's not an easy name.
Right.
But I am walking back towards Highmore as I'm talking to her because I'm trying to see that sign for the town to make sure that I'm at Highmore.
Okay.
And I think I said something like, yes, I'm at Highmore, a mile west of Highmore. And she said, the sheriff, something to the effect, the sheriff is the only one on duty and he'll be out soon. And I said, that'd be fine. I hang up the phone and I put it on the light, like it's got a flashlight feature, and I start to look at the highway and I look at the road ditch to see if I can see anything that I hit, because I'm thinking it's a deer at this point, but I did not see anything. I didn't have a time to swerve or accelerate or decelerate or anything. I didn't see anything. And I then go to the front of my vehicle and I snap one picture of the vehicle, and I'm willing to give you that now, please see too. Then the sheriff pulled up, so I stopped taking any other pictures because he stopped, so that just interrupted me. And I said, and so that's Sheriff Volek, V-O-L-E-K, I believe is his name. And I said, he said, well, what happened? And I said, well, I believe I got hit by a deer and it was in the middle of the road. I don't know. And he commented, and I shook. He looked at it. He's looking at my vehicle, and he said something to the effect of, well, at least it didn't knock out your side window, because it did not break the passenger window. And I'm looking at it, and I did not observe any blood or fur or anything. No.
Ravensborg walked through what happened, but his voice stayed shaky. He said he called 911, the sheriff showed up and helped him, even lent him a car, and that he and Tim went back the next day to look for the deer he thought he'd hit. Still, his nerves were hard to miss, and the detective flagged the story for a closer look.
And then you go left, or you go right and I'll go left. And I initially thought I saw it, and it looked like a fawn or a deer in the ditch. So I said, I think I see something, but then I come up, and it was the man. And he is not in good, he's dead. And so I, quite frankly, stammered, Tim, something to that effect, and trying to just get his attention to have him come up, and and I kind of maybe run towards him a little bit, and Tim, you need to come see this. And I don't think I told him what I'd found. You need to come here and see it, and then he saw it. And I said to him next, well, we need to go find the sheriff again. and I know he's right up the road here. And Tim says, well, I will follow you, we'll take the vehicle back, and we'll go find the sheriff. So I found the body, and I said that we should go find the sheriff. We went to the sheriff's house. He come out to greet us, and he said, good morning. And I said, I'll say morning, but you need to come see this. And I found a body. And he said, you're shitting me, or no shit, something to that effect. And I said, I am not, I need you to come see this. And we left his vehicle that he loaned us there, and I gave him the key back. I jump in with Tim, and we go back to the site. And at the site, I show the sheriff what I'd found. And the sheriff asked me how I was. And I says, well, obviously, I'm even more shook up now. And he told Tim to look after me, and look after me, take care of me, and then he would be contacting DCI, our equivalent, and then go from there. And then we basically got in the vehicle and came back to Pier. And then at some point in the morning, the highway patrol asked if I would do a blood draw, and I did do that yesterday voluntarily.
Okay.
Unless you ask questions from there, I mean, that's the bulk of the story, I guess.
So after you struck this person, and you got out and you looked and didn't see anything, and did you call anyone before you went and talked to or before the sheriff came? Did you call anyone besides the 911?
No.
Okay. How about after the sheriff gave you the call?
Instead of a deer, they found a body. Ravensborg says he and Tim called the sheriff right away. The detective listened closely, noting every detail and watching for any change in his tone or story.
In the morning.
Mm-hmm. Okay. What cell phone did you make these calls on? Do you remember? Do you usually carry both cells with you?
Yes.
Okay.
I do that for multiple reasons. I mean, if it is truly a political call, I do try to only be on the one phone.
Uh-huh.
And obviously lots of them are work related. Right. I only be on that phone if I can.
Uh-huh.
And then just that I am the Attorney General, availability. If they can't get me on one, they do try me on the other one.
Right.
Obviously I am, try to be as present as I can be for sadly situations like this.
Uh-huh. Okay. All right. When you got home that night then, did you call anybody else?
I think I only talked to those three people.
Okay.
I don't know if when I got home, I don't, if I called them when I got home or not. I mean, I think I might have talked to, Tim or Dave when I made it to the house.
Mm-hmm.
Just coordinating the next day, telling, that I, hit something, and, I didn't know where my car was going. I never got from the sheriff where it was being towed to, and what, where that would be at. Chief Jones, who you met in the hall, had told me the next day that the Pier PD had towed it and were putting it inside, basically, to secure it.
Okay.
So, and then I called my insurance company on Sunday to report it, I guess.
Right. Okay.
The detective next asked which phone Ravensborg used to call 911 and the sheriff. He wanted specifics: what model, which carrier, and any other details that might matter. The question seemed to catch Ravensborg off guard, but he answered as best he could, naming the phone and provider and explaining how he used it that night. The detective wrote everything down carefully. Those details would help confirm call logs, match times, and tighten the timeline of what happened before and after the crash. With that on record, the interview moved forward, and the detective kept connecting each phone detail to the rest of Ravensborg's story.
We found a pair of broken glasses in your vehicle, but they weren't sunglasses. They almost looked like cheaters of some sort. They were like a black framed glass. Part of them was laying on the front passenger floorboard, and part of them were laying in the back seat, broken half. Do you know? I wish I had a picture of them.
Yeah, if you had a picture of them, I could, yeah.
Right, I don't have a picture with me.
Yeah, they're just the standard black frames.
Yeah, standard black plastic
Okay,
frames.
I'm speculating without looking at them, but I'm in the military,
Uh-huh.
and we have sunglasses and different things that I have through, I don't know if that's that style or not.
Yeah.
And it very well could be.
Right.
Because
they're clear lenses.
And or sunglasses
Yeah.
I have, obviously,
Yep.
just as a
And
regular
I found
person.
some sunglasses in there.
Right.
So those glasses were kind of just...
In the car somewhere, yeah, I've got multiple pairs of sunglasses. I lose
Okay.
them.
Yeah.
Quite frankly.
Yeah. Yep. And like I said, these weren't sunglasses. They were actually kind of looked like they weren't real great quality. I mean, the frames were snapped in half, but the lenses were intact, but the lenses had fallen out of the frames of them
Okay.
and were laying there, and they kind of were just somewhat out of, as out of place as when you don't know what you're looking at.
Yeah.
So we were wondering if those were yours or somebody else's. Yeah, I wish I had a picture of them. That would clear that right up.
I'd be happy to look at it whenever.
Okay, right.
Yeah.
Send me a picture, or show me a picture, or show me the glasses, or whatever.
Right. Okay. So...
The talk shifted to a pair of broken glasses found in Ravensborg's car. Detectives said they didn't think the glasses were his or Tim's. Ravensborg asked to see a photo to be sure. Their questions and the fact they knew about the glasses made him think they were holding back more info. He grew cautious, and the detectives watched his reactions closely as they kept pressing their questions.
Did your car skid at all when you...
As the best that I recollect, I'm driving along in the drive lane, and wham! And then I react, and I might have hit the brake then. I did, work myself to the shoulder then.
Sure.
I don't know if I slammed on the brakes.
Sure.
It was more the jolt of it, than trying to just control the car to get off the shoulder.
Sure.
But yes,
And
I would consent. Yes.
That's something that we want to just, we want to double...
Yep.
Quite honestly, we're not leaving anything unturned.
I understand that.
And
I understand why.
Yeah.
And I guess I don't want you to,
Right.
I want you to explore this as much.
You want to be as transparent as,
Absolutely fine.
You're in a tough spot.
I'm in an extremely tough spot.
And it's like, we get it.
Mhm.
We're trying to...
But I believe I did not do anything wrong, and I obviously replayed it in my mind about 1,000 times, and what would I have done different, but I never saw him, I've learned, or anything. I hit it.
Yeah.
And then reacted.
They asked again if his car skidded. Ravensborg stuck to his story, saying he did everything he could to avoid the crash. He insisted he wasn't negligent and kept saying he'd done nothing wrong.
So here's what I got, it's just the consent to search, your name, we're at the Pier Police Department, I, Jason Ravnsborg. I got that right, didn't I?
Yes, you got it right. Good job.
Knowing that I may refuse to consent to such a search, hereby authorize the following officers or agents. I just put NDBCI special agents because I don't know which ones.
Absolutely.
And the special agents with BCI to search the LG Stylo 5 Plus. What was the phone number for that?
I came from Yankton before.
Okay.
Kept
Search for
rolling.
LG Stylo 5 Plus with phone number that.
Yep.
So this written permission is being given by me to the above-named officers and/or agents voluntarily and without threats or promises of any kind. So what I need you to do is sign it right there. And at any time, with either of these phones, you have mine and
Do I need to date it?
I'll take care of that.
Okay.
You have mine and Arnie's phone numbers.
Yep.
If you call us and tell us stop searching, we will terminate that search immediately.
Understood.
I'm going to take a copy of that with Joe so they know.
The detectives asked for his okay to do a search and explained he could call it off any time by contacting them. Even so, Ravensborg looked uneasy, like something was off. The room grew tense as they readied their next question, the one they hoped would explain his nerves.
And we know how something like this can go. And
When can I get personal possessions back?
what are you looking to get out of it?
Nothing. I just want to make sure.
Make sure that if there is something in there
Right,
you
yeah.
need.
I mean, there's...
Okay. Let me talk to
little
him. We'll
stuff.
see what we can arrange.
Nothing, it was pretty clean, and, I mean, I know there's stuff in the trunk, like a, you know, like an emergency kit and stuff,
Right.
you know, I mean,
Yeah.
nothing's pressing, I guess. I mean, I grabbed my chargers for my cell phone, and that's about it. I mean, I didn't grab much out of there. I mean,
Yeah.
I think my, you know, the remote control to your garage door to get in the house.
Right.
You know.
I'm going to call Arnie and see if he can snap a photo of those eyeglasses.
Yep,
and then
yep, absolutely, yep.
if he can just text it to me, and then I can show you that right away. And it was just kind of the one thing in there that was a little out of place, just, and it wasn't even terribly out of place either. I had a little cold. I don't have COVID.
Good. That'd be a kicker.
Yeah. I wouldn't be in here with you if I did.
Ravensborg's behavior set off alarms. He looked like he was urgently searching his car for something, careful not to tip off the detective, as if he had something to hide. The tension rose as detectives and his lawyer traded sharp questions. Then the attorney asked something oddly specific, which only deepened the detectives' suspicion and their push for the truth.
Those are not like what I thought with the military, but...
Right, no, that's right, and you're saying, I was like, I don't think
I mean,
that would be.
thicker, you know.
Right.
No, I don't recognize that.
Okay.
Yeah, I think about it, but...
All right.
After seeing the glasses photo, Ravensborg said he didn't recognize them. The talk drifted to Lincoln Day and other side topics, then snapped back to the crash. Detectives kept asking pointed questions and watched him closely for any slips.
Being I remembered something. My airbags did not deploy. It looked like from photos, and I think that's my car that Kelloland put out there, but you know, we couldn't see it exactly, but it looked like the airbags had deployed then. So they did not deploy from the crash, I guess. You know.
Right.
And so I guess I haven't seen my car since, so I don't know.
Right.
I mean, just telling you.
Okay.
Go back to the car. He says, well, he writes down, he takes those two items and he writes me out the red ticket, which I gave you a picture of.
Sure did.
And then he said, well, where do you live? Or where were you at? He asked me where I was at. I said, well, I'm in Redfield. I went to a political event and a Republican event over there, and he goes, well, you're not running this year, are you, already? And I says, no, but you're Attorney General, you're always running. You know, you're always, you know, out seeing the people, and I think that's what you got to do. Your extra bed, please.
Sure.
Ravensborg repeated that his airbags never went off, hinting the crash wasn't that severe. He kept stressing it, as if to play down how hard the impact was.
Okay.
And that's what we did.
Okay, so the call to the sheriff was just to set up...
To set up the return of his vehicle. I mean, I'm borrowing somebody else's property, and I think I should get it back to him. You know?
Did the sheriff say anything about the accident or anything? You're asking questions
Nope.
about that?
You know, he said that the tow truck driver hadn't been there yet, and bring it back whenever worked for me in the morning.
Okay. All right. So then you go back the next morning, correct?
Okay, so Tim meets me at my house approximately 8 o'clock, and I said, follow me, and, you know, we did see 3 deer the next day going east back to Highmore. We saw 3 in the daylight, you know, and we slowed down because of those. And then I said I wanted to go to Highmore and fill it up with gas, because I thought that was only the right thing to do again, that somebody loaned me their vehicle to give it back to them full. And so we filled it up, and as we drove by, some of the wreckage was still there on the road.
The detectives pushed for details about when he called the sheriff. Ravensborg repeated the same story, but his voice still shook, and his body language hinted he might be holding something back.
Okay. Do you remember, were you using your phone at all for anything besides to make a couple phone calls?
Nope, the only phone calls I made were to my father, which ended prior to Miller.
Yep. Okay.
I have 2 phones, as you know. One was on the passenger seat, and the other one was on my console, and I did not, use them, then.
Okay.
I do not have the phone in my hands when the crash happened. I had, our hands on the wheel and looking at the speedometer.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
So as best I can relate that.
So your phones, to unlock them, do you use mine? I can use a code or my thumb.
Uh-huh.
I think my kids can actually use a facial recognition thing. They hold it in front of their face.
Right.
How are yours set up?
One doesn't have anything, and
which one doesn't have anything?
The personal phone, the Droid.
Okay. No security on that?
No security on that one.
Okay. And how about your work phone?
You have to punch a code in. That's the one.
Detectives thought he might have been on his phone during the crash and tried different angles to get him to admit it. Ravensborg wouldn't budge. He stuck to his original story and offered nothing new.
So have you had any other contact with the sheriff at all?
No, I have not talked. I have not had any contact at all with the sheriff.
Uh-huh.
I think Tim might have reached out because we were trying to figure out who the family was.
Oh, okay.
To offer condolences, sympathy.
Uh-huh.
And, I think Tim might have, do you know these people? Do they have a relative who is the right person?
Were you guys ever able to get anywhere with that?
No. No, not at all.
Okay.
We found a different way to find out than the funeral home. They put the obituary and put the funeral home of where that had happened, and then we learned that the father passed away about 6 weeks prior. We were looking to reach out to the mother, but we saw that and did not reach out then because obviously...
Ravensborg said he didn't call the sheriff. Instead, he tried to find the victim's family to offer condolences. When he learned the victim's father had died 6 weeks earlier, he and his group decided not to reach out. He repeated this, insisting his intentions were sincere. Okay.
So now, any of these emails, do you have to get into those? How do you get into those on your phone?
Well, first off, I don't get into the Gmail one on my phone at all.
Okay.
Ever.
Okay.
I don't like Gmail. It's not as easy, user-friendly for me. And then the other one, you have to go on to the internet, I guess.
Okay, so you actually have to go in to click on Safari or whatever, go into Yahoo, and then sign in.
Right.
Okay.
And then my military email, quite frankly, I just ever use that on my laptop that they've given me.
Okay.
Because it's complicated. It's got long passwords and stuff you gotta enter in every time to...
Do you have the VPN at all?
Yeah.
With your laptop?
Yeah.
Okay.
So when you were driving, you don't remember going into any of these email accounts while you were driving home that night?
No.
Okay. Are there any websites that you do frequently use, that you frequent on your phone?
Well, when I'm around my house or around, a building, maybe you check out the news and such, I mean, I try to use my laptop and or, personal, personal computers, laptops, desktops, stuff like that, predominantly. I use them once in a while.
Do you have any certain sites you check the news on? Particularly, any favorites or common ones?
Well,
detectives asked Ravensborg to walk them through how he checks his email, step by step, to see if it's the kind of task that could distract a driver. They pressed for specifics, which app or website he used, passwords or verification codes, and any other security steps. Listening closely, they watched for any hint that using tech behind the wheel might have played a role in the crash.
Okay. So what would you think, though, if I told you that when they did the phone extractions, they found some internet activity on your phone around that time?
Well, I guess I don't not use my phone, but I did not use it at the time of the crash. No.
Okay. But were you using it up to the time of the crash?
You know, not that I recall.
Are you aware what phones will actually tell us, Jason?
Yeah, somewhat, you know.
Okay. So they're pretty straightforward.
Right, okay.
And there isn't any manipulation that you can do with it.
Right, right. I didn't do anything to them, or...
So, right.
No.
Right, and we didn't either.
Right, right.
That's what I'm trying
right,
to say.
Right, right.
And it's like...
The best I can recall is that the one phone was on my, on the seat, and I never touched that one. That's
one
the
is that?
Droid. That's the one they said they couldn't get the information off of and would have to mail to New Jersey.
Uh-huh.
And it slammed into the wheel well, is what I remember. The other one, I remember, you know, I would say prior to or right at Highmore, it was, I set it down on, you know, but, you know, through the journey, it fell down a few times, you know, but onto the gear shift, but I was not using it at the time. I know that.
Okay.
Phone records showed his device was online right when the crash happened. That undercut what he'd been saying. The detectives called out the contradiction and treated it as major evidence that he may have been distracted.
And the light is still on.
Okay.
We talked to a witness that had just seen the light, had seen him walking with the light.
Okay.
After the crash, did you see that light in the dark? Because it's pitch dark. If there's something glowing,
Right.
it would make sense for you to see it.
Right. I did not see any light, no.
Are you certain?
I am absolutely certain.
Just because, Jason, we went out there another
Right.
night with that flashlight recently and
Uh-huh.
put it back in the same spot it was in,
Okay.
with it back on,
Uh-huh.
and it's hard to miss. I mean, it truly is hard to miss when you're out there, especially if you're walking back towards Highmore.
Right.
And we walked on both sides of the highway to give.
Okay. Yeah.
We wanted to give you the
Yep.
benefit
No,
of the doubt.
absolutely.
We wanted to give you the benefit of the doubt because we knew you walked towards Highmore.
Yes.
So on your way back, we walked on both the south side and the north side, and that flashlight was like a beacon.
I don't know if I turned around at the wrong spot then or what. I don't know. I did not see a flashlight. I didn't see him in the face, no. I did not. I did not. I did not know it was a man until the next day. No.
I think you had an idea it was something other than a deer, though.
I just believed it was a deer. I do. I know it sounds, but I've never hit a man before. I've hit a deer, because that's the
So-
time of season to do that.
In your 911 call, though, Jason, you say, I hit something.
Right, because I don't know what it was, but I assumed it was a deer. I never saw a deer. I never saw a man. I just assumed it was a deer. I hit something. I just assumed it was a deer. Because what else would there be? I had no, and I still don't believe, you know, I would not expect a man to be on the side of the road in dark like it was. I would not think that a person would be out there at that time. I would think a deer, though, would hit you at that time in this season with crops and everything. I did not know. I did not know it was a man until the next day. And I guess the best witness to that is Tim the next day, who saw my reaction, you know, and that I was extremely shook up that it was that was a person.
Ravensborg's tone shifted. He got tense as he realized the stakes. The detectives noticed and brought up a witness who said they saw a light. Ravensborg pushed back hard. He said he never saw any light.
Didn't see a man.
But you did see your debris on the road, which was one bigger chunk, I think you described it.
Right, yep.
Was there more than that you saw on the road? And it actually wasn't on the road, it was on the shoulder, right?
Mm-hmm. Not really. I mean, if it... Think about that. I remember seeing that chunk.
So, part of the Tim being on the other side of the road.
No, Tim's on the same side of the road with me.
I mean, so you turn,
We
and
went to
he's
Highmore.
going that way, but you were gonna go over there next.
We went to Highmore first.
Yep.
I got gas, he parked and waited.
Okay.
We then, I went first, and
You
we
turned
both parked on the north side of the road.
And that's where you guys were walking.
Correct. He went east, I went west.
Okay.
We never made it to the south side of the road, because I found
You had
him on the
talked
north
about
side.
going there.
Correct.
Right.
Yes.
But then,
We didn't need to go to the south side, because I found
Okay.
him on the north side.
yeah. So, I mean, with your car, with the damage that it has, I mean, and your car's rounded, obviously, this is square.
Right.
And so this is all the extreme, we'll call it the extreme right of your hood as you're sitting behind the steering wheel. It wouldn't be likely that it would go that way, would it? Anything that you hit on this side,
No,
it's not likely that it's gonna go to the north side.
No,
It's
I mean,
gonna
I
stay-
just thought-
Our south side, it's gonna stay on the north side.
right, if it died, you know, that it didn't hit and then go off and keep going. I didn't think so, but I didn't check the south side of the road.
Yeah, you didn't get to that.
I
at
didn't
all.
get to that.
Okay.
I thought, let's start on the north side, because maybe he's dead and he's back farther towards the bean field or whatever that is, you know.
The detectives saw Ravensborg fading, tired, short, and less willing to help. Even so, they pulled a lot of details from him. As the fatigue set in, the talk got repetitive, with the same questions and answers circling back.
Tell me, like, is my toxicology back or anything? Can you tell me any of that?
I'll tell you it's zero.
Right.
Just
Which
like
should
you
be.
knew.
Absolutely.
You knew that.
But it's...
And we followed up, like, with the folks that you, and I don't know if they
Mhm.
called you or not, and I don't care if they did.
Mhm.
Because I talked to the waitress, and
Mhm.
I talked to the bar owner.
Okay.
I talked to those people, and I knew what it was gonna be, but
Right.
we
Well,
had
you
to
still
do
gotta do
it.
your due diligence, absolutely.
And the HP that came there was because I told them.
Okay.
I
Okay.
told them, I said, just go do it.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't know you from Adam. I said, maybe not.
Right.
But either way, we need to do this
Right.
because it's the right thing to do.
Mm-hmm.
And so they did it on my bequest.
Okay.
Because at that time, I already knew that I was the one coming down here. And so we're just gonna, I wanted to make sure, I mean, if you were or if you weren't,
Absolutely.
it was gonna,
Right.
granted, it's a little late, but
Yeah.
it's better than nothing.
If we didn't do it,
Right.
then public perception would have been that you were completely annihilated out there driving.
Well,
you
that's
know,
what
I mean,
they said anyway.
Yeah.
But I did not have any alcohol.
The detectives went over Ravensborg's tox report and asked if he'd been drinking that night. They also said they were checking local bars. Not long after, the interview wrapped up. He was charged with 3 misdemeanors: careless driving, leaving his lane, and using a phone while driving. The crash drew huge attention in South Dakota, and many called for him to resign. As of April 2023, the case was still active, and he had pleaded not guilty.